If it's true that you can go to the cloud, what does that even mean, go to the cloud? You could choose something other than hosting and running and serving and buying and cleaning and backing up and restoring your own servers. That whole process of doing it yourself is known as on-prem, and it is the not cloudy at all. There's no cloud involved. Everything's on premises. All of your resources are right where you can see them. Or maybe if you're fancy, all of the resources are over there in the IT department where you have to badge in because only some people can get into the room. And then once you get in the room, you see these rows and rows of servers with all, you've seen all the movies with the blinking lights and the servers and the plugs and cable, Ethernet cable everywhere. And there might be somebody there who doesn't get out much, possibly because they're stuck in the data room. I was that person for a long time. Could you just slide me a pizza under the door? Thank you. But somebody's got to maintain it. What are they doing in there? All the things. That's not a very modern way to do computing because you have other options. Let's discuss. We're going to talk about private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, and multi-cloud. Are you ready? You strap in. Here we go. Now, I'm pulling my slide up. Okay, on-prem. Here's the issues about on-prem. In general, what does it mean? On-premises means that your computers are on-site in person. They're in your data center. This is the traditional way of managing IT. This is the traditional way. In other words, if you were to do a startup right now because you and your buddy looked at each other and said, oh my God, let's create a business. And let's take this idea that we scribbled down on our paper napkin and let's go change the world with a new business. You know what you're not going to do is go shopping and bring home a bunch of servers. That's not your first move, but it is the traditional move of old. And so that's why we still have lots of companies that have been around for a while and they're still babysitting the hardware. This is them. And this kind of world does not require for any third party to access it at all. In fact, even the people who can access the building may not necessarily be allowed to go inside the room where the servers are because, oh my gosh, we're not animals here. And then finally, it's all about that physical control. And here's the part that the accountants love. You don't have to pay extra money. You don't have to pay for ongoing access to your own machines, right? You don't. You buy it once and you use it over and over again. You depreciate it on a certain schedule according to the tax accountants. And every year it becomes less and less and less and less. And then at some point you're supposed to scrap it. This is the thing about on-premise computing. Now, with on-premise computing, there is a drawback. You will need the following: physical space to put it in. Oh, and not just any room. You can't just put a server in the corner. What are you doing? First of all, it needs a specialized room. The temperature should be low. The floor should be raised. It should be provided with backup AC, backup electricity. You should have a failover plan just in case the cooling and the HVAC goes out, all this uninterruptible power supply. And then you have to make sure the room is secure and only certain people can get in it. It's a whole thing. It's not just buy a few servers and put them in the corner. Now, to maintain them, you need experts. They need to be on your payroll. They need to be given particular permissions to get into the room. And when it's time to scale, oh, did you just go live and somebody shared it on TikTok and now 1 million people want to buy your sneakers? Turns out, whoopsie, we didn't buy enough servers. One moment, please. Everybody, let's go over to Micro Center. We need to buy 14 more computers and we need to hurry up, bring them in and plug them in, load them with software and make sure that they're connected. Oh, expand the room. We need a bigger room. Okay, it's too late. Everybody just wandered away because your site crashed. Okay, this is not the modern way. I'm just saying. Anyway, this could lead to buying more than you need. Now you bought 14 more computers and then they all wandered away. Now you own 14 more computers. What you going to do with them? So it's a little nutty to try to maintain this kind of world, and so therefore it's not the modern way to go, but it's a way to go. People do that, so it's a thing. So now let's talk about on-prem versus cloud computing. Cloud computing is able to scale automatically. Where on-prem had those problems I mentioned before, this is the scenario. Let's go with it. I put my new sneakers site on. We started a new thing. We put it online. Somebody shared it on TikTok, and then it went viral, and we couldn't handle it. If I did this in the cloud, no problem. With a point and click of a mouse, I have scaled up. Scale up means there's one server serving that website with 1, 2, 3 users logged on. As more users log on, the cloud is able to make cookie cutter copies of that server. And so now where one server was having all the traffic routed to it, 2, 3, 4, 5 servers are now having traffic routed to them. They're distributing the traffic amongst a back end that is able to be elastic. It grows and it shrinks. Elasticity is one of the benefits of going to the cloud. So that is what's exciting about cloud computing. And the beautiful part about this is when the demand for your website goes down, as it inevitably will, it'll go up and down and up and down. The resources, because they're elastic, they expand and they contract, and they expand and they contract to support the need at the time. And so now you're paying for resources only when you need them, and you're letting them go when you no longer need them. This is the elasticity of the cloud that people look for. So the cloud, it's a loaded term. There are 4 kinds of clouds, or there's 4 kinds of approaches that you could take.